Today we're going to try and finish off this whole front end. Now, as you can see, it's missing quite a bit, but I already have the headlights and now I have the bumper. So I managed to source what I believe is an S-line or S1 front bumper, and I've got a whole load of stuff from Audi and a new grille as well to go onto the car. So I will build up the bumper ready so that it can be mounted, and I will mount the headlights. However, before I tackle all of that, this car has only got rear parking sensors, and one of the upgrades I want to do is add the front parking sensors. So this bumper, I've actually already had the front sensor, the mount installed into it. So now I need to add in the wiring for the front parking sensors into the car, and then I will be able to mount the actual parking sensors themselves into the bumper and the grille, and then it will be ready to go back on the car.
.28 AM.
Right guys, so we are done. Now as you can see there, the front bumper's on, the headlights are on, the fog grills, the main center, honeycomb grille, and obviously this side is all fixed. Now, there is some lining up to do, but otherwise this thing looks awesome. Yeah, I really like that. Now inside, I've changed up the buttons here. So now we've got a full set. Well, the last one, I need to change out this bank. But I've added now the parking aid button as well as the TPMS and heated seat. So the aim is to not have a single blank. So I will change that once I get the heated seats in with this button and the wiring. For the time being, I wanted that one, and it comes as a set, so that's all there. If I now turn on the car, so yeah, now if I press the button down here for the parking aid, up here it shows the parking aid is now working. So we have working front parking sensors, working headlights, and a lovely looking front end. Few little touches left to go, but otherwise I am so impressed with how this is turning out. What do you think, guys? I've made a mistake. So I was testing out the headlight washers. I was trying to see them pop out and squirt water on the headlight, and it wasn't happening. Instead, all we could see was the bumper was kind of flexing. Couldn't understand what was going on. Furthermore, when the windscreen washer kicks in and it squirts water, instead of it squirting onto the windscreen, it's been flying right over the car and hitting my wall. So all of this has water all over it. Another one here. So I'm going to have to adjust the washer jets because clearly they're just shooting over the car. But yeah, the headlight washer. So what's happening here? If I open the cap. First I thought the cap might have been stuck, but it's not. It moves freely. But when you peek inside, there is no headlight washer. Instead, It's down here. So the headlight washer, instead of being in this position, it's over here. Looked into it on the system and I figured out that the bracket that the headlight sits on should have been upgraded. So this being a 2014 Audi A1, it has the right headlight bracket on that side, but I've upgraded the bumper and the headlights to the 2016 shape. And apparently I should have also upgraded that bracket. Now on this side, I bought a bracket and fitted it in since the original one was pretty much mashed up. And it turns out I ordered the 2014 bracket, so that has to come out. Now, I've checked the system and I've got it on order. So I've got the 16 plate brackets for both sides now on order, and they should turn up later today. So what I'm going to do is, well, I have to take this all off again. The headlight, the bumper, it all has to come back off. And so once it's off, I can take out the brackets and replace them with the new ones that will turn up today. And that should solve that problem and allow the headlights to then work. The other thing I've had to do is the arch liner that I fitted in here. There's a new arch liner. Turns out, again, I've ordered the pre-facelift liner and that doesn't line up with this bumper. So I've already ordered some new liners. And since I've got a new one on that side, and I saw there was a tear on this side, I've also ordered the new liner for this one. So the project's not done yet on the front end. I was hoping I'd have it finished, but let's see. Once I get these last little bits done, hopefully then the front end will be finished and repaired.
A few moments later.
My alignment skills are rubbish and that I can't get this bonnet and wing aligned properly. It's got too much of a gap at this side and not enough of a gap this side. So I've called in the expert. So we've got George from Drifting Rust. He's in here with us today and he is going to show me how it's done.
So he got the gap pretty well compared bonnet to the door. Now we need to adjust the gap from the wing to the bonnet. Of course, when you move that gap, this is going to move as well. So the first thing we're going to try to do is lift the bonnet up so we don't scratch the wing anymore. Ash. And then we're going to realign the bonnet to the door. The first realignment is going to be, I think, fairly simple. One way to do it is there's two bolts holding the hinge over here, so we can loosen them and lift the back side of the hinge up. Or we can try to, there's a bump stop on the hinge over here as well. We can try to lift that up and see what that's going to do for us. But yeah, gapping is pretty simple. You just need to play with it.
It is, but you know, in my case, this is the first time I've ever taken apart an A1's bonnet. So in my defense, I'm a bit new to this.
That's all right.
So I'm going to let you do what you need to do. My hands are here for help, but
Yeah.
otherwise you can show me what needs to be done.
Cool, let's crack on.
So George is really good at this, and as you can see, he points out what to do and then he just walks out and leaves me to do it all by myself. No, I'm joking, he comes back eventually. So this goes on for a while, as you can see, and we're just back and forth trying to adjust it here and adjust it there, and then eventually we do get to a point where we're quite happy with it. This is where we've got it to now. The lineup is almost perfect. It lines up perfectly here between the door and the bonnet. The gap is perfect. I mean, it's very decent and acceptable. Tiny bit of a gap here, but that doesn't bother me at all. On the other side, again, we've got a great little gap going across. Perfect gap here, going down. And again, the height there is perfect. The way it meets here with the door is also perfect. Now, I looked on the system over on the computer over there, and it said that these gaps should be around 4.5 millimeters, and that is about right. So if you compare it back to the gap on the door, and obviously nothing was adjusted here, this is how it came from factory. So the gap on the door there compared to the gap here is pretty much the same. So yeah, really happy with how that turned out. While we're here, so while this was all in motion, while I was getting this all sorted out, ordering all the parts, I managed to get hold of another special part, and George has just gone to get it. Now, George has been doing all my paint work, so the bumper, he sprayed, the wings, this wing at least, he has sprayed, and now he's got for me these two babies. So what we've got here are the S-line, or actually this came off an S1. So these are the S1 side skirts, and they are going to fit along the bottom there. This car is a sport model, and the sport model didn't get anything. It just looks really dead the way it sits there. This thing will cap over like so, and we'll get the adjustments and everything right, and it will sit really nicely up against the bodywork. Now, the way it fits, it needs an extra bracket. And when I bought these skirts, I wasn't given the bracket, so I've ordered them from Audi directly, and they just turned up today. So here I've got two brackets, one for left and one for right. They're literally still in the packet. We haven't opened them up yet. We're going to open them, line them up to the bodywork, check that they work, attach the bracket to the bodywork first, and then the skirt attaches to the bracket. So,
Let's rock on.
You ready?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Meanwhile,
I have now mounted in the new bracket. It turned up from Audi, and I've put the headlights back on. The headlight slides in a lot easier. It mounts into this much more easier, and I'll show you why on the other side. So over here, we've got the headlight mounted in. As I said, it slided in better, and the reason I think it is, so I've got the old bracket here. This is the one that was on the card before. This is from a pre-facelift model. Now, first thing I noticed, if I look at the balance there, this profile from this bracket to here is quite flat. Whereas on the other one, you've got this raised kink up here. Now, the older headlights used to have this different shape towards the bottom of the headlight, where the headlight's quite flat here. And I think that was what it was it was causing it to hit on this part. The other thing is the headlight washer. So the washers are now mounted, and from what I can tell, on the older bracket, the older one, the washer will be mounted pretty much straight up and come towards us, whereas that one is mounted out to the left there. You can see it points out to the side, so as it squirts, it will come out this way and then squirt onto the headlight as opposed to coming towards us. And I think that was the key with the bumper flap on that side, for the flap to open. So that's now installed, and I'll test it again once I get the bumper back on. The other thing is the washer bottle, so there's a bit of water here. There was a little drip coming off the bottom of the washer bottle, so I've taken it back off, and I will, I've done a repair on it. I've left it up there to dry and for the glue to set. But once that's done, I will mount it back in place, fill it back up with water, and then see how that goes.
the next morning.
Look at the state of this place. I have had enough with the washer bottle that lives there. Every single time I repair it and I fit it back to the car and then I top it up, there seems to be one or two stubborn little leaking points and I can't seem to get it fixed. This silly bottle. got random, so it seems to be leaking up here from the top. I'll be honest, I've tried, I've bonded it all over, but even then, it still drips out. And yeah, I've had enough. This thing is absolute trash. So, reluctantly, I've now gone and bought a brand spanking new one. Now, I don't know why the original was black and the new one is white, but, you know, that doesn't really make much of a difference. There is some slight design differences. This kink out here, so I need to see if that fits. Now, while I'm working on this stuff, the arch liner, so we took out the arch liners because they weren't lining up on this part, and being that the car is original pre-facelift and not an S-line, so I needed to get the correct liners. So over there I have brand new S-line, or S1 even, arch liners. And these, the key difference was this bit here on the edge. So now I've got the correct ones. I will fit these back on. So there you are, guys. The A1 has a new face, and I have to say, I think it's pretty sexy. Honestly, I am absolutely chuffed with how it's turned out now. The whole front end. Oh, actually, I've forgotten something. So I've done something to the car. So, I have these awesome, super bright white LED fog lights, and these are from EM Tuning. So trips at EM Tuning, I'll put his website in the description below. But yeah, those and these awesome, super bright LED indicators. These are also from Trips. He does awesome LED bulbs, so make sure you guys check him out if you want any of these LED bulbs. He does a lot more than just the headlights and the fog lights, does interior bulbs, so check him out. So George did an awesome job on the side skirts here. They look factory fitted. To be fair, they are using all factory parts, but the way he did it, honestly, super impressed with how they've come out. So we have now both side skirts. I've also added these little spoiler bits. Now these also come from the S1. I found these while I was looking through the parts manual for bits to do with the bracketing on the side skirt, and these showed up, so I picked those up as well. So I got that on both sides here. We still have a ding or two to sort out. You can just about see it in the light there. There's a ding right there. So there are still things to do on the car, but for now, that front end looks awesome. What's more is, yes, I have finished technically the repair, but I am nowhere near finished in the modifications. So if I'm honest, I have only just started. This is only just the start of what I have planned for this car. So make sure you guys follow, like, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Let me know what I should do even. Give me some ideas if something I might not have already thought of. Till next time, guys, see you later.